How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Two Bros Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Hunter Smith, and I'm here with Dakota Smith. How are you doing tonight, Dakota?
Good. Enjoying the first two nights of the NBA. Warriors got off to a great start last night. Lakers looked terrible, just like we thought they would. If you go back and listen to that episode. But the Lakers looked bad. The Warriors looked great. I still didn't see enough Jonathan Kuminga, but it's just game one. But the Lakers are going to be bad for LeBron. That's unfortunate. But good game going on right now that's on ESPN. Memphis and New York. New York's battled back in that game.
Yeah, it's been a tight one going into the fourth quarter. But we're here to talk about the NFL. And to start off the podcast, we, of course, have the infamous pop and flop of the week here. And the three pops for this week are Joe Burrow, Matt Ryan, and Stephon Diggs. So two quarterbacks this week and a wide receiver. Joe Burrow, 300 yards, 28 for 37, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 32.5 fantasy points. Matt Ryan had a great week, 42 for 58, 389 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 27.16 fantasy points. And Stephon Diggs, rounding it out with 10 receptions, 13 targets, 148 yards, 1 touchdown, and 30.8 fantasy points. What's your pick? What do you think?
I'm going to go with Burrow. Cincinnati had been off to a rough start. That whole offense kind of got back going. Nixon didn't have a great game, but Jamar Chase finally got going. He had 7 for 132 and 2 TDs. So for me, it's Burrow. Allen, of course, he picked apart. Or who'd you say? God, I looked at this earlier. I'm really bad at it. Matt Ryan. Okay, that was the one I was going to tell you to use. You had me thinking Josh Allen because I knew you said Stephon Diggs. Because Josh Allen was going to be one of the ones I picked. But, I'm going to go with Burrow. Ryan did have a great game. That one kind of came out of nowhere, too. Matt Ryan's game came out of nowhere. And I kind of expected Diggs to tear apart that depleted Chiefs secondary, which they did.
Yeah.
And I fully expected that. But I'm going to go with Burrow. I think it's a toss-up here between Burrow and Ryan. If I'm not mistaken, they scored pretty close to the exact same amount of fantasy points. They were pretty close.
Yeah. Burrow had 32.5, Matt Ryan had 27.16.
Oh,
which is interesting.
I was looking at the numbers for our league. I'm pretty sure they were exactly the same.
Yeah. Mine's going to be Matt Ryan. And throwing 58 times in a game it's a lot. But 389 yards, he had 3 touchdowns. He came out with a win against the Jaguars, who we all thought was, were going to be decent out of nowhere, but 34-27 winning for the Colts last week. And I believe they're 3-3.
The Colts? The Colts are 3-2-1. Yeah. Jacksonville dropped to 2-4 after that 2-1 start. That's unfortunate if you're a Jags fan because they looked good. They looked great those first 3 weeks, and then the wheels just kind of fell off.
Yeah. Well, moving it to the flops of the week, we have Elijah Moore, Jeff Wilson Jr., and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So 2 wide receivers and running back this week. Elijah Moore, I picked him because he's on my fantasy team. Yeah, and he put up a big 0 fantasy points, 0 yards, 0 receptions, 0 targets on 14 routes. 14 routes, and he had 0 targets, and he's supposed to be, the number 1, number 2 option in New York. Losing snaps now to Braxton Berrios on some formations as well last week. So Elijah Moore, a very rough week. If that doesn't give it away who I was going to choose, then I don't know what does.
Yep.
Jeff Wilson Jr., 7 rushes for only 25 yards on a target and a fumble, 0.5 fantasy points. And Edwards-Helaire got stuffed a lot on those first down rushes, 9 rushes for 33 yards, no targets on 3.3 fantasy points.
Well, you're going to go with Moore. I'm going to go with Wilson. That was a really good matchup he had against Atlanta, and they did absolutely against the Atlanta Falcons.
Pretty bad.
They got beat by 2 touchdowns by Atlanta. That was that was a rough one if you're a Niners fan. Then you get to go play the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That's not a game you wanted to lose when you have to go play Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City defense is depleted, so it'd be a great spot for Garoppolo to get back on track. But
Yep.
no, I'm going to go with Wilson since I know you're going to go with Elijah Moore. I
Yeah.
knew you were going to pick Elijah Moore for this, even before you put it in our script, because he goose egged your fantasy team and you still won.
Both of them, actually. Both games.
He's on both of your fantasy teams? Oh, that's tough. I didn't realize he was on your other one too. God.
Really, really rough week. Anyway.
Did you lose in that one?
No, yes, I did. I got beat. Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say
Okay.
if you survive two Elijah Moore goose eggs in one, that would be pretty incredible.
Yeah, let's not. Anyway, off of the depression of my fantasy team, both of them. Talking about for our question for the day, and I don't know if you read it before, but I kind of just threw it in here.
I did. You want to get a TikTok reaction out of me, don't you?
Well, it might be. We'll see. But is Josh Allen the best player in the NFL?
No. Until he does something to beat Patrick Mahomes in an important game, he is not better than Patrick Mahomes.
I'm glad you said important game, by the way.
I know, and I've said that to people all week. I'm like, okay, there you go. You can have that one. You can have the regular season game. That's fine. Beat us when it matters. That's what Josh Allen hasn't done. He hasn't won that game yet. It's like the bugaboo with Lamar. That you got to win the big one, and they haven't got past the AFC Championship game yet. Like you gotta beat the team. You gotta beat the guy to be the guy. And if you can't beat the guy, then you're not the guy.
Yeah.
So I still think it's Mahomes. That's probably a little biased of me, but he's the best quarterback in the league until somebody proves me otherwise.
Well, I think Josh Allen is the MVP frontrunner at the moment. It's him or Hurts, in my opinion. And at the moment, I think he is the best player in the NFL. I mean, the way he's playing right now is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, he's playing great, and I'm not going to deny that. But
he's been so good.
They got like a
and
C+.
That hurdle was ridiculous.
That hurdle was ridiculous.
That hurdle's crazy.
That was like a C+ game from Mahomes, and they still almost beat Buffalo. That was a C+ Mahomes game at best.
Game for Kansas City, so
yeah. And like I said, I kind of expected Allen to pick that defense apart because that secondary sucks.
Yeah,
their secondary is bad.
Play the young, really, get some experience. If we're just gonna be bad anyway, so.
They should be getting their rookie McDuffie, the rookie, back hopefully sometime soon. That'll help him out a lot. And Fenton was out too. I didn't know that one he was out too, but
yeah,
when you have three guys in your secondary that play a lot that are out against the best passing offense in the league, recipe for disaster. And that game went about both those teams threw a ton. And that's kind of what I think people expected. Those teams threw a ton. Not a lot of points, but they threw a lot.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to see that game again. I have a hard time believing that's not the AFC Championship game. Yeah. Except this time, except unless the Bills falter completely out of the 1 seed, that's going to be in Buffalo. That's what that game was for. That game was for home field advantage later on when it matters.
Tie game 108.
Oh my goodness. Who hit that?
3 seconds to play.
Who was that?
Emmanuel Quickly, I think. Is
no, that's
zero?
not.
No, he's not number 0. Who is number 0?
That's not Quickly. Who is that? Turn around, bro.
I know.
I don't know who that is, but he just.
Sorry, this is the NFL podcast, but
that was Cam Reddish. It was Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish.
Revival. Big 3, 108 in the Knicks and Grizzlies game. Faded to the corner and a huge shot there. Sorry for interrupting. That thing was cash money. The moment he let it go, I was like, that's it.
Oh, John Conchard just got eyeballed by Cam Reddish. Oh, that was nasty. By the way, that pass from Brunson, that was money.
All right, well, we'll
Okay,
get back on track here.
back on track.
Sorry, but that's why I've been looking down, just so everybody knows.
I've been looking to the right, so or whatever direction that is on your guys' screen. It's right
here
to
holding
me.
it in front of me. So if John Morant hits some crazy game winner,
You're gonna
sorry
see
for
it.
the if
You're
you're
gonna see our
wearing
reaction.
earbuds or
But
headphones.
before we get back into like full podcast mode, I'd like to say happy birthday to our mom.
Oh yeah,
It is her birthday today. I feel obligated to say happy birthday to our mom.
I think I was the first one.
I called her earlier. I called her this evening.
Yeah, I texted her at like 8 this morning, so I think I won.
Good job.
But yeah, happy birthday, Mom. Shout out, Mom. Back into the NFL though. Well, I say that as they're about to throw the ball in, but this is a question. This is a question that I didn't put on there.
Are we gonna do our pops and flops or not? Or are you just sleeping over there?
Oh my god!
Did he just do it?
Charge?
I don't know.
This is getting completely out of podcast here.
Well, this podcast is going longer. Oh, Jenkins looking up. I looked down.
Well, this will get looked at anyway. Okay, back to while this is getting looked at back here. So this is a random question that I didn't put on the script here.
That was a charge.
It's one I was originally going to talk about a couple weeks ago when we first started, but has Russell Wilson's time in the NFL come? Is it coming to an end?
Yes.
Eli Manning on the Manning cast said they should have paid that punter $235 million instead of Russell. Is it coming to an end?
Yeah, it is. He looks terrible.
I think it is.
He looks terrible, and he's not acknowledging it. And it's bad. Things are bad in Denver.
Yeah,
things are very, very bad in Denver. And as a Chiefs fan, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving the fact that Denver is just blowing up right now. Their coach can't coach. Their quarterback can't throw. Their defense is great. Their defense has given up one touchdown in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
They didn't give up a touchdown to Indy. They only gave up 1 to the Chargers, and their defense has given up 1 touchdown in 2 games, and they've lost them both. They got to figure out that defense is good. Like, that defense is really good.
It is really good.
Like, they got to figure something out offensively. I don't know what the deal is. I know Cortland Sutton's not terrible. I know Jerry Jeudy's not terrible.
They're 2 good receivers. Like
I understand Melvin Gordon can't hold on to the football to save his life. He got benched Monday night. Just going to go off on a tangent here. I'm really, really tired of bad primetime games. Like,
that's
they have been so bad. God, that Bears Commanders game was terrible, and I watched the whole thing because it's football. Inject that Alabama Tennessee game into my veins. If the NFL could have 1 game like that a week, they would be great.
Yeah. That Thursday, Monday night football game, just one of those a week was like that. Oh man.
If any game that they had on national television was like that. I don't know if it's just me, but like none of these games are really like that I've watched have blown me away. And I'm watching Chiefs games most of the times, but like watch a Sunday night football game. Wasn't impressed.
Yeah.
Watch the Monday night game. Was it a good game? Yes, but it was boring. Like, brutally boring. Like, we want to see touchdowns. I don't want to see field goals. And if the Chargers and the Broncos are both going to be, the offenses are both going to be that bad the rest of the year, I feel great as a Chiefs fan right now. Yeah. I feel great if those offenses are going to look like that. I understand the Chargers don't have Keenan Allen, but God, they are struggling.
I mean, going into the season, if you just look at the divisions up and down, you're looking at the AFC West and you're thinking, oh my goodness, this division is ridiculous. You have 4 all like star quarterbacks. But now I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, the Raiders, if they're on, they're on. If they can figure it out, they're good. Like they have a very good offense. Devontae Adams, Waller, Carr. I mean,
they got a good get right spot this week too.
But now you look at it and you think, I mean, there is a team that's clear bottom. It's the Broncos. And you're looking at the NFC East, right? That's the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants. And you're thinking, when Dak comes back,
which
that is a
more than
scary division.
which is more than Dak took a lot of first team snaps today. It's looking like
Yeah.
Dak is going to come, and it is a juicy matchup for Dak when he comes back because they play Detroit.
Yeah. So, I mean, Russell Wilson's time probably coming to a close, which is unfortunate, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe they'll turn it around, they'll figure it out. Maybe they just need to fire their coach. Moving forward here to the pop and flop predictions.
Okay.
Quarterback, running back, and wide receiver.
Okay. Here we go. Yeah. You threw that one off. You threw that one at me. For some odd reason, I thought we had been doing those back to back. I don't know why.
Nope.
It's been a long day. It's been a long last 4 days.
My pop for the upcoming week is actually Russell Wilson.
I tried this.
Believe it or not.
I tried this.
It doesn't.
It doesn't work. I've tried this before. It doesn't work. I promise you, it doesn't work.
And
save yourself the embarrassment.
It's at home, and it's a Jalen Brunson's guy's stuff swatted. Anyway, it's against the Jets, and I don't know. I have a feeling this week that the Broncos will actually pick up a win against this decent Jets team, who have looked pretty good.
The Jets have looked great.
Breece Hall looks amazing.
That defense clamped Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
that running game did absolutely nothing.
I think Russell Wilson's my pop for the week.
Okay. Well, in case you didn't know, I kind of just hinted at mine just a little bit. I'm going with Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Coming off the injury. About as good of a matchup as you can get playing the Detroit Lions, who we know their defense is terrible. So, not a good matchup for Dak. Good bounce back spot here for Dallas after that loss in Philadelphia. They got off to a rough start in that game. They tried to make it a game there late and just too many mistakes by Cooper Rush. Now Cowboys fans, I think they want their guy back. I think they want Dak back, and I think this is a great spot for Dak to come out and have a good game off the injury.
Yeah. I hope Dak can come back and come out firing on all cylinders, especially the matchup he has this week. My running back pop for the week is Clyde Edwards-Helaire after the rough week.
Ooh.
I mean, he's getting stuffed at the line. His yards per game wasn't great, I don't believe. I don't think it was very good. I mean, when you only have 33 yards, and no targets. I think they need to go look to him a little bit more.
That was a big one.
He's going to get looked at a little bit more this week, and I think he'll have a decent week here against the 49ers. I think it's a good matchup for him.
I'm going to go with Dameon Pierce, running back for the Texans.
Yeah.
They said they want to. There was a quote from Lovie Smith today, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase that Dameon Pierce should be getting the ball 20 times. They're going to get Dameon Pierce the ball 20 times. It's going to be a good fantasy week for Dameon Pierce.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be a great fantasy week for Dameon Pierce. Let's see if I can find that quote.
It's a very, very good game on ESPN, by the way.
Oh yes, this is a fantastic game. Yeah, I'll have to find that later. Or
all right.
I don't need to find it, but it was something along those lines of that Dameon Pierce is going to. They want to get Dameon Pierce like 20 carries.
Yeah, I did see he was a person to look out for in fantasy this week, and I agree. I think he is.
Here we go. After fumbling around, I finally found it, I think. Smith said the lead tailback needs to get at least 20 carries.
Yeah.
If they're going to get Dameon Pierce 20 carries, he's going to have a good fantasy week. He's good enough.
They have nothing to lose. So.
Yeah, I mean, that
besides
team's
the
bad.
game, but they're 1-4, so.
I mean, they're in the sweepstakes for the number one pick. There's not a clear cut. We don't have a race for that. We don't have a race for that like we do in the NBA. There's no clear cut number one yet.
Yeah.
Even though I've been seeing, I think it's going to be CJ Stroud from Ohio State, but.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a good pick, especially if he gets those type of carries in this upcoming week. Wide receiver for this week, it's the homie. I think it's just obvious. I think it's DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh boy.
He's coming off the suspension. I think DeAndre Hopkins is a critical part to this offense, and I
Oh
think the
yeah.
Cardinals can take off from here. I think this is going to help them a ton. Marquise Brown won't get targeted as much, which is fine because you have him. You have DeAndre Hopkins, and now them two together is going to be very dangerous.
And he is
So
him.
I'm going with Hopkins coming off of this suspension. I think he's going to explode this week.
Okay. I'm gonna go out west with mine as well. Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Coming off the bye. Had a great game against Kansas City. I look for him to continue that against the Texans. So picking two people from the same game, I think Devontae Adams will have a good week. When he's very seldomly he doesn't, but I think he has a big week this week.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, obviously Texans, like we said, in the sweepstakes for number 1 pick. So we'll see. Moving forward to our flops of the week predictions for week 7. My first one is the man, the myth, the legend, Jacoby Brissett. I think he's going to have a horrendous week. I don't think it matters that
who do they
play? They play the Ravens. I don't think it matters that the Ravens secondary isn't great. I don't think Jacoby Brissett is going to have a very good week here in Baltimore.
Yeah, because Jacoby Brissett's not good. That's the thing. He's just not any good.
He's thrown 5 interceptions this year. So he threw 2 last game against the Patriots and was sacked 4 times. So,
by the way, for fantasy purpose, because we just talk about the teams that are on bye this week and how much it hurts fantasy players. Buffalo, the Rams, the Vikings, and the Eagles.
Yeah.
It's a rough fantasy.
Very good teams.
Rough fantasy. I'm kind of going with the opposite of what I did for Dak. I'm going to go with Tua. He's cleared to play.
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be something in the back of his head that just is like, oh, what happens if I get hit again? And maybe they go more run heavy this week just to kind of protect him a little bit. Try to get it. I mean, they have the perfect receivers to run 3-yard routes with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I think if the only way Tua succeeds is if they try to get the ball out of his hands quickly. I don't want to see him get hit again. Yeah. And how is he going to respond? How's he going to respond after getting hit? That I really want to see that too.
Yeah. Well, I'm praying for Tua, obviously. Hopefully he can. I mean, if he goes off this week, I would love it for fantasy purposes. If I play him, I don't know if I'm going to play him, but
I mean, in general, I would like him to. I want to see him come back well. I just don't think he's going to.
Yeah. To running backs now. My running back flop for this upcoming week is Christian McCaffrey. It's against this Tampa Bay defense. Mm-hmm. He's not been doing well the past 3 weeks. 8 carries, 27 yards, 14, 54 yards, 13 for 69 yards. So and only 1 touchdown this whole year. So I don't think. Obviously, the trade rumors are about. They're clear. I mean, they're here, and I can see him being traded, but the package for him is going to be ridiculous. So we'll see.
Yeah. And I'm basing my other running back one off of a quote I saw earlier this week that the Bears are going to ride the hot hand at running back. Well, that's not good for one David Montgomery.
Yeah.
Because Khalil Herbert has had the better numbers so far. He's averaging more yards per rush and more yards before contact. And if they're going to continue to ride the hot hand, I just have a feeling that hot hand they're probably just going to stick with Khalil Herbert at this point. Because Montgomery hasn't I mean, it's not like Montgomery's bad, but Herbert's had a good week too. He had a good week last week. I mean, a lot of that was the fact that he broke a 63-yard run against the Commanders. That was the majority of his yardage, but still, if you're going to ride the hot hand, if Montgomery doesn't come out hot, chances are they're going to go right to Herbert. And we'll see with Chicago. They play the Patriots on Monday night. Yeah, that's a goal. Who picks these primetime games? Please, who picks them? I would, because the Dolphins and the Steelers is the Sunday night game. So thank you to the NFL and whoever schedules your game because they suck. So
yeah. Moving to wide receiver here, I'm sticking with the name Christian. Going with Christian Kirk this week. I think he's going to have another horrendous week. I don't know what to do. The problem is I have him on fantasy, so it's hard to pick him, but he's just not been good.
Does he miss the
Sorry, I just
second?
got some weird notification.
Oh my
from
gosh, he
Java.
missed.
What the heck?
Oh, he missed the second free throw. Oh, the God, they're going to give New York another shot to tie it. Oh, fantastic.
Okay, I just canceled a Java installation. I don't know what was happening. Anyway,
Okay.
yeah, Christian Kirk's not been doing well. I mean, 1 reception, only 3 targets, 11 yards against the Texans. Against the Texans, 4 receptions, 5 targets, 24 against the Colts. So and a fumble. So I'm not feeling confident.
I think I'm going to change mine on the fly here. I had DK Metcalf down, then I realized they play the Chargers, and both those teams like to go fast. God, I kind of caught myself off guard here. Yeah, I'm going to stick with it. DK Metcalf. I'm going to stick with it. I think that Chargers secondary might have figured something out against Denver. After Russ went 10 for 10, he was terrible after that. So obviously, Russell Wilson is better than Geno Smith. Not right now, but coming into this year, everybody thought so. Right now, he's not. But I mean, I just have this feeling that one of these days, Geno's going to revert to being Geno again, and this Chargers secondary is supposed to be really good. They haven't been great to this point, but I think they figure something out. I think he doesn't have a good week.
What just happened? My computer's tripping out right now. Okay, anyway, we're good.
That's lovely.
Moving to the week 7 predictions of the NFL. This is the fun one. All right, here we go. Obviously, as we mentioned, Dakota mentioned slightly earlier, the bye teams this week are 4 very good teams who are all hot at the moment. The Buffalo Bills, the Los Angeles Rams, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Philadelphia Eagles all have byes this week. Fantasy managers, it could be an interesting week. Starting off, though, with the Thursday night game, it is the New Orleans Saints at Arizona at the State Farm Stadium in Glendale. What do you think?
New Orleans. No, Arizona. Arizona.
Okay.
No. Arizona. We don't even know who the Saints are going to start at quarterback yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I
48
also have Arizona. I think this offense is going to explode this week.
Yeah, I think with D Hop back, Marquise Brown's out. We probably should mention that. Yeah. Too bad that wasn't France Evan Fournier. He would have made it.
Literally. Yeah. So both got Cardinals there. I think I want to say it's obvious, but who knows with the Saints? I think like they're a very inconsistent team in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean the defense isn't bad, but you just don't know what you're going to get at quarterback. It looks like Jameis could return, but we don't know.
Yeah,
because we're recording. It's just a little after 9. It's like 9:23 right now, so we started just a little bit before 9. And as far as I know, they have not announced who their starting quarterback is going to be,
and it wouldn't be this late. So, next game here, starting off this Sunday 12 o'clock slate, the Falcons at the Bengals. I have got Cincinnati, so I think, like I said, I think Joe Burrow is going to have another very good week. I think his whole offense is, and Jamar Chase, I think, is going to be really well again.
Oh, we're going to agree on 2 in a row. I just don't think Atlantic. I mean, they beat San Francisco last week. That was a huge win for them, but I think Cincinnati figured something out against New Orleans, and I like the Bengals. I think that passing attack finally figured something out.
Yeah. Next game, Lions at Dallas. It's in Arlington, Texas this time around. So, I'm gonna go with Dallas. Whether Dak plays or not, I think Dallas is gonna win. I think their defense is gonna clamp up this Matt Ryan and his Lions offense. So, I don't think Matt Ryan will have as good as week.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dallas as well. I think the fact that if they do get Dak back, that makes this even more obvious towards Dallas. But Detroit surprised us. They can score a lot of points. The problem is they give up a lot of points. So
yeah,
and Detroit should get there. Looks like they're going to get DeAndre Swift back. which will be big for them to get him back. That'll be big, but I
Yes,
just don't think
for fantasy points. Oh my goodness. Let me tell
yeah,
you.
I know. I
So
have him too.
he's questionable still, but he's back in my lineup in one of my leagues, and immediately this is the first time since he's got hurt that my team is projected over 100. So
Jeez.
I need Swift back very badly.
That team's rough.
Next game, Colts Titans. Honestly, I think this is actually a hard one. Also, I think I said Matt Ryan earlier for the
You
Lions.
did say Matt Ryan. You meant
I
Dak
meant Goff.
Prescott.
My bad. My bad.
Oh, the goof.
But Colts Titans. I think this is actually a tough one to predict. I think this one can go either way. I don't think it's going to be high scoring either. But I'm going to go with home field advantage here. I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to go with the Titans.
I'm going to go with Indianapolis. I think, talk about figuring something out. I think they might have figured something out against Jacksonville. Throw the ball. Michael Pittman had a monster game against Jacksonville. You just got to keep feeding him the ball at this point, and that was vintage. That was vintage Ryan. Like that was old Matt Ryan. That you wonder if they found something. Maybe his confidence is back after that game, and a confident Matt Ryan would be very, very good for Indianapolis after the rough start they had.
Yeah, for sure. I like I said, I think this one could go either way. I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait and see. I probably won't watch it, but we'll see. Packers at the Commanders here. I'm immediately going to go with Green Bay. Obviously, Carson Wentz out with a broken finger 4 to 6 weeks. Not that it would have mattered, but because he's pretty useless. But yeah, going with Green Bay here. So Packers by 30.
Yeah, Green Bay by a lot. I like Taylor Heineke, but not enough to beat the Packers. I think they bounced back after that loss to the Jets. They looked bad against the Jets. My goodness.
Yeah.
They looked bad. You got to be liking this if you're a Vikings fan. The other three teams in that division have looked terrible, and the Vikings have looked really good. Like Minnesota, the big front runner to win that division right now.
Yeah. Next game, heading to North Carolina, it's the Bucks versus the Panthers, and
do we even need to talk about this game?
I don't think so.
Do we
this
really?
One might be short.
Do we even really need to talk?
Do
we need to talk about the Panthers at all? They suck.
Christian McCaffrey have a rough week. Baker Mayfield's useless, and Bucks by 46.
46. Bold statement by 46. They traded Robbie Anderson to the Cardinals because the coach didn't like his attitude and kicked him off the field. I never listened to his press conference on what actually was said and everything, but it didn't look.
Carolina fans.
It didn't look. I'm sorry, Carolina. I really am. Like you guys,
you might go 1-16.
I want it, I so badly wanted Baker to be good to prove all the Cleveland people wrong, and he's just I don't think he's going to be back this week. They're going to go with PJ Walker. Yeah, that's your starting quarterback in the NFL. Darnold's still not ready to be back yet. They could start Darnold when he comes back and if he's healthy. That's the state of this team right now. They're going to start Sam Darnold at quarterback. Man, we figured out the Jets might not have actually been that bad. Maybe Sam Darnold was just trash.
Well, he plays on projected like 3-14 team right now, so
yeah.
Like I said, sorry, Carolina. Anyway, next 12 o'clock game here in Florida. It's the New York Giants, 5-1, riding the Saquon train, taking on Jacksonville, and I've got the Giants here.
I knew.
I'm gonna keep riding this Giants train. They're gonna win the Super Bowl. I'm kidding, but
I'm sorry. We need to clip that out and quote that.
They are on fire right now. Specifically, Saquon.
I know. No. I don't believe you know this. We've talked about this multiple times on this and through text. Guess what? I don't believe it. I'm picking Jacksonville. No rhyme or reason. I just don't think the Giants are real. I don't believe this yet. It's 5-1 and they're all just a little kind of fluky. Their one
I
loss is to
mean,
Cooper Rush led Dallas. Baltimore.
okay, but that's a really
The
good
Baltimore Ravens can't protect a lead to save their lives. If
I mean,
if you went back and looked at that, like they choked a lead against Buffalo, they choked a lead against Miami, they gagged away that game to the Giants because Lamar can't hold on to the football. But
they've beaten the Packers and the Ravens in the past 2 weeks. So
well, the Packers lost to the Jets. So
well,
what are the
okay? They're having a rough time. They're having a
what
moment. It's okay.
what are the Packers really? Are
It's
they
actually
any
funny. I
good?
know a Green Bay fan here at college, and I can't imagine what he's thinking.
Oh yeah, two of the guys I talk to a lot. They're Packers fans, and they're in shambles. They're in shambles right now. Like that whole team. Aaron Rodgers just should have retired, man. Just hang it up.
One of my friends' roommates.
It's not worth it at this point. Just just hang it up.
Yep. Next game. It is right. Yep. Last 12 o'clock game. Well, they all start at 12, but you get a bit. Browns at Ravens here, and I'm gonna go with Baltimore. Despite the secondary obviously being a little questionable at times, but the Browns haven't looked good. I think the goal for the Browns right now at the moment is staying in a playoff race until Deshaun Watson comes back.
Yep,
So
I think
assuming he doesn't get another allegation, because
he just got like
the last one was just flown out of nowhere, out of the blue. So I got Baltimore.
I do too. I was liking Lamar for MVP there for a little bit. Now they've kind of just tailed off, and they haven't been great. Like the secondary's bad, but newsflash, I think Cleveland's bad too. I mean, Cleveland can run the ball. Like Nick Chubb's great. Kareem Hunt, he's pretty good too. But I'm just not a fan of this Cleveland team. I'm gonna go with Baltimore here.
All right, welcome back from the Zoom only allowing 40 minutes. It's gonna happen for a while. So
same story, different week.
Yeah, same thing, different day. But moving on to the 305 slates, we actually ended off perfectly. Starting off with the New York Jets at the Denver Broncos. Even though I'm expecting Russell Wilson to have a very good week, he was my projected pop, I'm going with the Jets. I think this Jets team is actually decent. I really like Breece Hall. Obviously, I really did like Elijah Moore. So I don't know. It's something about this team that is just getting them wins, but a win is all you need.
Yeah, and I'm gonna ride with Denver. I just think they got to get it right eventually, right? And the Jets are still the Jets.
That's what you think.
But yeah. I think that. I think there's too much talent there for them to get this wrong. But I just are the Jets for real? That's like we're 6 games in. Are the Jets for real? Are the Giants for real? Do we really know yet? Maybe not. But I have a feeling the next 4 to 5 weeks are really going to determine that. Like you get them into that. If they're both like 8-3, 8-4, going into like the 13th game of the year, then yeah, okay, sold. But I'm still gonna go with Denver. However, I did see something today with the Jets that they could legitimately have both the offensive and defensive rookies of the year with Breece Hall and Ahmad Gardner.
Oh yeah,
their corner.
Yeah,
their corner.
Yeah, they could actually.
Yeah, that would just be crazy if they ended up with both.
Yeah, and it would be both New York teams. That just out of nowhere, just go crazy. So
the Giants one makes more sense with the coaching change. I think the coaching change did a lot for the Giants.
I think Saquon being back is what did a lot.
That also has a lot to do with them being good.
However, the second 305 game, Texans at the Raiders, I don't even think this is really a question. I think it's Las Vegas all the way.
A lot. I completely agree with you. I think this is Vegas by a lot. I think this is a team I think that eventually starts to get it right. Again, I think this team's better. This team is way better than their 1-4 record, and they've shown that. They went into Arrowhead and almost beat Kansas City. They blew a big lead against the Cardinals. Like this team isn't bad. I don't think this team is nearly as bad as their 1-4 record. They are better than the 2-4 Steelers. 100%. Like I know the Bucks just beat the Bucks, but that was a stroke of luck. And that's just the NFL being the NFL, and somebody just got lucky one week.
You gotta love it.
Oh yeah, it's great.
325 games here. There's two of them. Seattle, it's Geno Smith traveling and taking his team over to California as they take on Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. I've got the Chargers in this one. Like you kind of pointed at earlier, I think Geno is going to have to return to Geno at some point. Even though he's playing phenomenal. I mean, respect to him. Got to give him credit where credit's due. He's playing great. But absolutely. I think this Chargers team is way too good for Seattle.
I do too. I just think you're going to start seeing the Seahawks be the Seahawks eventually. I don't think Arizona is very good. And they beat Arizona last week, but it wasn't pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Chargers, I'm going with the more talented team. And the Chargers look like they're going to get Keenan Allen back. That's going to help Herbert out a lot. I think that has a bit to do with their offensive struggles. Like Austin Eckler had 16 targets on Monday night.
That's insane.
Yeah. I think that also had a lot to do with the fact that their offensive line is depleted right now.
Yeah.
But I think they get right. I think they keep it rolling after the overtime win over the Broncos, and they get another one here against the Seahawks.
Second 30-25 game. Both of these are on Fox. It is the Kansas City Chiefs traveling out to California to take on the San Francisco 49ers. It's a good week for Garoppolo to show what he can do to get back on track against this type of horrendous defense. But this Kansas City offense, there's so many options that I'm not even trying to be biased, but Kansas City wins this game.
Yes, they do. Talk about bounce back spots. Here you go. I think they get it right here. Mahomes has a really good game. I think Kelsey has another really good game. He's been pretty good every game this year. And I mean, whether it's yards or touchdowns, he's been pretty good in both. Juju finally had the big week all the Chiefs fans have been waiting for. He finally broke 100 yards and then got that touchdown last week. But yeah, I think they're primed to get a W here.
7:20 game. It's the late game on Sunday. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Miami Dolphins. Of course, Tua in the realm of returning. However, how good will he be coming back? And will he be the same in the first couple weeks back? That's the big question of this game, I think. But if Tua's back, I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
I am too. We're either going to have a really good week or a really bad week because we've only differed on 2 games. Gotta work on content purposes here. We got to be a little bit different, but I feel like a lot of these were pretty. I feel like a lot of these games.
A lot of them are pretty.
They all feel pretty obvious because like Arizona and New Orleans was kind of a toss up, but like the Colts and Titans. Oh no, you picked the Titans. Did you pick the Titans? Oh, I wrote that down wrong. So, okay, we differed in 3 games. Either way, one of us is going to we're both going to have a good week or we're both going to have a bad week. Really will depend.
No in between.
No in between. It's going to be a really good week or a really bad week for us. And I need to go back through and tally everything and see where we're at right now. Yeah, everything like the last from the Texans Raiders game on, everything's a 6 to 7 point spread, and those are games where you expect the better team to win. I mean, Tampa Bay is favored by 11, Dallas is favored by 7, Bengals by 6.5, Green Bay by 5, Baltimore 6.5. Like, there's a lot of games that are expected to be maybe not close.
Well, moving to Monday Night Football on ESPN. We're going to Foxborough. It is the Bears at the Patriots, and I was sitting here because I just looked, questioning why in God's green earth do the Bears get a Thursday night football game and then they get a Monday night one, and I don't know why the Patriots are on here. So, I mean, anyway, I think the Bears will win. I don't like the Patriots this year. I don't think they're good. I'm not watching this game. I will not watch this. This is
I will watch this game because it's
but
football, but in in Bailey Zappi, we trust. In Bailey Zappi, the
oh
Patriots
my.
trust. Oh my gosh, they're creating a quarterback controversy there in New England with Mr. Zappi giving Mac Jones a run for his money. I mean, he looked good. He's looked good,
Patriots are so bad.
and they are bad, but their problem is that division's really good. Like Buffalo, you got to play Buffalo twice. Good luck with that. Have
But
a great time. Have a great time with that. Yeah, I think New England wins this game. I just don't think they win a whole lot more. Now
yeah.
that the Jets, if they could be the worst team, they could be the worst team in this division now. Now that the Jets are showing that they're
Yeah.
competent, like they could be the worst team in this division now. I think talent wise, you could probably still argue that they might just be the worst team in the division. Period. Like New York's got a lot. There's a lot of young talent on that team. It's just a matter of whether it was going to come together or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the Patriots in this game, but not going forward. I'm not a huge fan of them going forward.
Yeah. Some interesting games this week. There's a chance for a lot of upsets, I think, this week for teams around the league. But I think a couple teams that we're gonna see. I think the Jets. I think the Giants. I think we're gonna see if they're how legit they can be. I don't think either one of them can drop a game this week, just for the sake of people trying to get people to agree that hey, they might actually be like legit, you know.
Yeah.
So, Falcons have a matchup that could be interesting. So, interesting here. Week 7 should be a good week. Of course, 4 powerhouses out at the moment because I will say that the Vikings are a powerhouse. They've started off amazing.
Yep.
So we'll see. Any last?
No, I think like you said, there's a lot of potential for upsets this week. Like if I had to go back and pick one of those games that I feel like there could be an upset in, I do feel like it's that Seahawks Chargers game. Like if that Chargers offense, the Seahawks offense just clicks and they just outscore the Chargers, they just boat race them. I feel like that game could be a game you see is like 38-35.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm feeling if that's a high scoring game, I think the Seahawks win it.
Yeah.
I think there's that one, and then I think the Falcons will give Cincinnati a run for their money too. I think that'll be a closer game too.
I think Cleveland can give.
There's a lot of those. Yeah, there's a lot of those games that could go. I could see a couple of those games slipping, but
yeah. So who knows? Upsets could be on the horizon here for week 7, and there could be a lot of them. But that'll do it for this week's episode of the NFL, and we will see you next Thursday. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and week. We hope to have you join us next time on the Two Bros Sports Podcast. With that being said, I'm your host, Hunter Smith, and goodbye.